Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Film Club Podcast, where every month we deep dive into a different aspect of cinema, directors, genres, actors, or franchise. It doesn't matter, because it's always fun at the Film Club. I'm Dean.
I'm Becky.
And this month we're starting a new month. We are starting Camp Musical March.
Well, it's Musical March.
But we're doing campy musicals, right?
Yeah, that was kind of your decision. You're like, let's do musicals. Campy musicals.
Campy musicals are the best musicals. But we're going to start this month off with
Phantom of the Paradise.
That's right, Phantom of the Paradise, directed by Brian De Palma from 1974, and we needed a guest for this episode. We needed two guests for this episode.
Dun dun dun.
One new.
One old.
Kind
Nice.
of. He's vintage.
Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Cielo Sarabia.
Oh, she put her whole name on there.
Sorry.
You could just
No, there's more to that name.
there's a lot to that name.
No.
I won't announce my middle name.
She's like, that's where I draw the line. I'll give you my address, social.
No. Yeah, I am not only Randy's fiance.
They're fianced.
Fianced.
I am also like very much into the Phantom of the Opera related content.
And I'm Randy.
And that's Randy.
I just live here.
He hangs out. So, I am curious about that. So you're a Phantom of the Opera aficionado.
A fan with a PH.
A fan with a big, giant industrial fan of Phantom of the Opera, right?
Yeah, I'm a connoisseur of that film.
So I'm curious. So Phantom of the Paradise is how big is this with the Phantom of the Opera fandom? Is this one of those if you're a Phantom fan you have to watch this, or is this you got to be deep lost in the sauce to get to Phantom of the Paradise? Because I never heard of this movie until I met you.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just a fan of the opera, you can probably just watch the ALW or 2004 and that's it. But if you really want to be into all the lore of Phantom, you have to watch Phantom of the Paradise.
Because this was the sequel that who wrote the original Phantom of the Opera? The book?
Gaston Leroux.
This is the sequel Gaston Leroux
Yes.
originally wrote, right? This was, there's Faust involved,
Yeah.
There's Count Dr. Caligari. I assume it's a direct sequel.
There's leather.
There's leather. Lots of leather.
Yeah, lots of leather.
Black lipstick.
Black eyeshadow.
Yes.
Chrome teeth.
Yes.
A very iconic helmet that was
Yes.
used in a different series behind Becky on that bookshelf.
That Randy is very obsessed with.
Yes.
Literally, when we watched Phantom of the Paradise and he put the helmet on, Randy yelled, "Griffith, no!"
Griffith.
Cause berserk. But yeah, so we're talking about Phantom of the Paradise today, and this is directed by Brian De Palma, who we've done on the podcast before
We have.
a few times,
Yeah.
because he was Scarface, The Untouchables. Are those the only two we've done with
I
him?
think so.
Yeah, but I know he's also one of Cielo's favorite directors, because he also did Carrie and
Blowout.
Blowout,
yeah.
which another that's his best movie. Blowout is amazing. But I'm wondering your guys' thoughts on Brian De Palma, because we've seen a fair bit of his movies. How would you describe his films? Because Phantom of the Paradise is a different kind of movie than the ones we usually see from him, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
indeed.
I think all of his movies are pretty different from each other.
Mm-hmm.
You think so?
I think so.
He fully embraces the world that his stories live in.
I mean, you look at Scarface, you look at Blowout, and you look at Phantom of the Paradise. These movies are almost not connected at all.
No.
In any way.
It's really true. Thematically, the movies are not really all that related, but visually they're very distinctive. He likes those split screen kind of shots. He likes those very long, almost Hitchcockian takes. A lot of people say that Brian De Palma is basically just low rent Alfred Hitchcock or Grindhouse Alfred Hitchcock, which I could see a little bit in this movie.
Yeah, I can see it.
Honestly, when those split takes come up, I'm people should do this more often.
It's cool as fuck, right?
It's really cool.
It's oh my god, it's two touches of evil right next to each other. Oh wow. Because this movie is full of movie references to other classic Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
I call it Touch of Evil, Frankenstein, and Psycho were the three that I caught right
Psycho.
away.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, did any of you guys see any other ones?
Picture of Dorian Gray.
There
Oh,
you go.
Picture Dorian Gray. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
There's Edgar Allan Poe references in there.
Yeah, the Cask of I
Cask of
can't
Amontillado.
Yeah, that
Cask
one.
of Amontillado, yeah.
Where they're just like, yeah, brick him up in his studio. I'm like, that's a lot of money you're just bricking up in that studio space, right?
Well,
Mhm.
Dean eats swan. Well, it doesn't matter.
It's the devil's money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money is no,
And speaking of
obstacle.
swans, birds in general too.
There's a
Oh, yeah.
lot
A
of
lot of
birds in
birds.
this.
A lot of
There's
birds.
phoenixes, there's swans, there's
Mhm.
probably another one I'm missing.
Sparrows.
Sparrows.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Sparrows?
Sparrows.
How did a swallow get a coconut all the way up to England?
It's an African swallow.
We should just done Holy Grail again.
Oh.
I'm like, we've done it, but yeah,
It's a good movie.
it's a good movie.
But yeah, so let's tell everyone the back of the box of Fan of the Paradise, and then we get to go into the deep dive of explaining this movie because it is very, very weird. But yeah, so let's get into that. So the back of the box. A talented music composer has his work swindled from him by a mysterious music producer to open his new club. And bent on revenge, our composer haunts the club until charmed by a beautiful singer and relents so his music can be sung by her. But the producer has other plans for the singer and for the Phantom of the Paradise. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, I'm impressed. You knew that.
See, Phantom of the Opera is one of those pop culture things that I feel has permeated enough that people know the gist of the plot without actually having to see it, right?
Yeah,
I would
I'd
think
say
so,
so.
yeah.
I mean, there's a man horribly disfigured who thirsts after somebody who has talent, and hilarity ensues.
In the sewers.
Yeah, in the series normally.
Yeah.
Yes, usually under a giant opera house.
No sewer scene in this movie.
I know. I was disappointed.
And it's
Mhm.
not a theater or an opera house. It's called the Paradise.
Yeah, it's like a weird club theater
Concert
thing,
venue?
Concert hall.
That's okay. Let's start with that. What the fuck is the Paradise exactly? Because Swan's like, I'm gonna open the Paradise, and I called it a club, but that's just because I don't really know what it's supposed to be. Because I didn't see like a drink bar. I know there's like musical
I saw no snacks.
no snacks. I know there's
It's
performances.
probably like a concert hall type
Mhm.
thing because that's what it looks like. It's got like boxes, It's got like a
Yeah.
what is that thing called? The mezzanine.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
There's
like
the pit.
there's the
Mhm.
pit.
There's
Yeah,
a backstage too.
but it's like I was just like really curious. He's like, yes, I need something perfect to open up the Paradise, and I'm like, you're supposed to be big time Soldier Soul to the Devil music producer. How do you not just have like a list of people behind you you can just throw on in? Just
Well,
hata.
Dean, he wants to get the perfect somebody to open the Paradise.
The perfect somebody.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect somebody.
Yes.
He could have had Rod Serling open the Paradise like he opened the movie.
True.
Mhm.
True.
Did anyone else get like confused why Rod Serling opened this movie?
No, it seems perfect to me. It's like an episode of The Twilight Zone.
This would be a very
Yeah,
weird episode of
yeah.
The Twilight Zone.
What do you mean?
Dude, I saw Cielo look. She's like, I know why he opened this movie.
Oh no. I don't know why he opened this movie, but I was just like wondering why he was like uncredited.
That
It
is
was uncredited.
Yeah, he was uncredited
Hmm.
in the IMDb.
Did
Yeah.
he just do it as a favor or
I
something?
think he just wanted to do it just for fun.
I mean, this is 74, so I don't know when Rod Serling passed away, but it was like a few. It was in the 70s. It wasn't like a thing where it was like, oh, he was old and sick. I think he died like of a heart attack or whatever. But this was after like Night Gallery. This was after Twilight Zone. So he was just like a screenwriter at this point, I believe.
75.
75. Oh, so this was the last on-screen credit or non-credit of Rod Serling.
Non-credit.
Non-credit.
Non-credit, yeah.
But yeah, the movie opens up with your Rod Serling narration. I'm waiting for him to say, and we now enter the Paradise, just on the corner of the Twilight Zone. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo. And when we actually get into it, it's the 1950s style pop songs of the Juicy Fruits, which just
Oh, Dean, it's the
Kino.
nostalgia wave.
the nostalgia. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, they call it the nostalgia wave, because
It's the 50s.
The 50s. And they're being watched over by the mysterious Swan and all that. But let's talk about that. The music in this movie, because we open with like almost 50s doo-woppy,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and then when we
Mhm.
see Winslow, he's playing this beautiful like piano ballad, and then there's also the weird like shock rock stuff that's later on, and then there's like the kind of like Joplin-y like soul singing. There's a lot of weird music stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you get when you put a music producer as like one of the heads in the movie.
A Phil Spector music producer.
Yes, played by Paul Williams.
Paul Williams.
Yeah, Paul
All right,
Williams.
cool. Who is less problematic than Phil Spector.
Oh, definitely.
He wrote the Muppet song.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Paul Williams.
that
Yeah.
rainbow song that
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog sang.
Dean's song.
It is a song that plays sometimes when I walk about. It's weird. I don't know where it comes from. But yeah, so
The banjo just magically appears.
oh lord. But
And
I'm
the log.
I mean the log is just one thing, all right? I do carry a banjo with me at all times, but that's for unrelated reasons.
And the log, from Twin Peaks. When you got a log lady it.
Oh, sweet Jesus. So I'm curious for anybody, what are we thinking when the movie opens and we see like Swan and Winslow and the club and the 50s nostalgia music? What's the first thing you're thinking of when the movie starts?
I'm thinking this song kind of slaps.
Yeah, I thought like the song was really great, and then there was like a really great monologue from Philbin where he talks about like this singer that he discovered, and that they hired her. What, Dean?
I know I'm remembering the monologue, and he was like, the greatest piece of ass, the best I've ever had in the world. And I'm like, is this the monologue from Godfather? Okay, remember when like Hagen goes to the movie producer and he's talking to him and he's like, this, what is it? This guy comes in with his olive oil charm and he steals it, and she was the greatest piece of ass I ever had. I'm like, are they ripping the same monologue from The Godfather?
Now that you mention it, it's kind of pretty similar.
It was just something funny when you started going like talking about his monologue. I'm like De Palma's quoting a lot of people. He owes somebody some fucking money.
No, Dean. He doesn't owe anybody any money.
He's just inspired.
He's just inspired.
Inspired.
He's making references, not copy pastas.
When we get to the Faust part, Randy's gonna bust the book out and have to be like, I have notes though.
No, I haven't read Faust, unfortunately.
But
Yeah.
sorry,
I'm surprised. I really thought you were gonna come and be like, "Yo, it's happening."
No.
that was a hard boom. It's happening.
That was gonna be the book.
I've read other books by the same author, but
Oh.
no, I've not read Faust. It's too long.
You literally are reading the Bible.
Yeah, but that's like split up into sections. Oh, I guess Faust is split up into like part 1 and part 2, but we won't get into that.
This guy over here. But yeah, so yeah, the monologue.
Yeah, I like he discovered the singer, and she was hired by Philbin and Swan, and then she quit and she wanted to do a concert for like the needy, and Philbin wanted her destroyed, and then Swan was like, well, today she is great, but then tomorrow she'll be forgotten. And then that's when the music of Winslow, and I don't know, it was just really good. It's a really good scene.
It's also big foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Very big foreshadowing.
Big foreshadowing.
It's also that a lot of the thematics of the movie is, the rock industry, the music industry, it'll take you up, spit you out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going to get into the Lee Harvey Weinstein scene very soon, which is
Scenes.
multiple scenes, which we'll get into that. But yeah, so we finally get to see Winslow. He's playing the piano. His song is, beautiful. Swan loves it so much.
Well, also Winslow is doing like a Stevie Wonder impression with like how he's moving around.
He's
He's
spinning,
feeling the music.
He's feeling the sounds. He's got like the Ray Charles head bob. Also, who is this actor? Because I know he's in like
William Finley.
Yeah, William Finley.
okay, because I know he's in other like De Palma movies. Like usually he's in them as like kind of smaller parts, but this guy has a very distinctive look in this
yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How would you describe the look of Winslow Leach?
Awkward.
Geeky.
Awkward.
Nerdy.
Looks like he has spaghetti just oozing out of his pockets.
But like it's like described like he's a cinnamon roll, but will actually kill you.
A cinnamon roll?
What does that even
What's
mean?
that? I don't know what it means, but it gets the people
Are you
going.
saying, like TikTok labels?
Yes, it's a TikTok label, I guess. But, I mean, it's kind of true. Like he seems pretty sweet, but he can actually kill you.
I mean,
he has a temper.
When Philbin comes to talk to him, he like almost pushes Philbin out a window or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, I'm so sorry.
He's like, you will not take my music. I will murder you. Oh, sorry. I don't know what came over me. Oh,
Which really plays onto the Claude Rains Phantom of the Opera, where it's, you're taking my music, I will kill you.
Oh, is that a thing in
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I've only ever seen the silent version of Phantom of the Opera.
Wow, fake fan.
You have
fake
to
Claude
watch
Rains
the
fan.
1943. I told you before we should watch it.
You said on multiple occasions being like, "Hey, Dean, we should watch Phantom of the Opera." I'm like, "Which one?" All
no,
of
no,
them.
No. I told you 1943, Claude Rains, because
Well-
it's really good.
Well, because Claude Rains is a great actor. He was the
you
Invisible
haven't
Man.
watched it.
I'm working away. I have a lot of movies to watch. All right, people. I have a whole podcast. I like
and
how
watches like
is Randy over
Goodfellas
here?
10 times.
Is Randy over here being like, I don't even know that version existed.
I'm just keeping my mouth shut. I haven't seen it either.
Oh, well, but, I mean, you've seen a bunch of Phantom movies with me. Like, you watched the 1925 currently.
I did.
Yeah.
Randy
Randy has that Vine face. Okay. Like-
Randy has the look of I was asleep for most of it, so that doesn't
No,
count.
we went to
No,
the
we
circus
watched
room and
it.
watched that one with the live organist performance.
Did you?
That was badass.
Oh, that is an interesting thing. There's a lot of Phantom of the Opera. I think is traditionally associated with like the organ music,
Yes.
all that stuff. I don't think there's an organ in this. It's more like synth, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all like synth
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, well, it's all it's supposed to be like very 70s
Piano.
and shit.
This movie is so 70s.
It's so 70s.
So
So
fucking
70s,
70s.
yeah.
I walked out of my room feeling like, fuck, I went back in time.
It has a very unique aesthetic. I mean, we even see it
Winslow
from like
looks very 70s.
Yes.
very 70s.
Down to the sweater.
Swan looks very when we finally get to see what Swan looks like, very 70s. Philbin, he looks like a 50s greaser, but he looks like a 70s idea of like 50s hip greaser.
Just can't let it go.
Well, he looks like somebody who couldn't let it go. Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Mhm.
Even the juicy fruits are like that. We're retro cool. We look like 70s, or we look like the 70s ideas of greasers or whatever. But it's like nostalgia wave.
Yes.
It's kind of strange because like the juicy fruits, like they are just doing whatever Swan wants.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they even at the end of the performance, they look up into like I guess a box you can
Mhm.
say, and it's like they're waiting for Swan to like do an approval.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like the gladiators battle, and they're
Mhm.
waiting for the
The emperor to give him the
thumbs up or thumbs down.
And he goes like the subtle. And then
And
everyone's
then
like,
everybody claps, yeah.
everybody claps, yay.
Yeah, so the juicy fruits, and then they just
Industry
get in.
plants, man.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. It's
I
kind of like
know.
it's like, what is it? The monkeys were like a industry designed to work against like the Beatles and shit like that.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, that's like, this movie really does feel like it's basically like a big middle finger to like the music industry.
Which is great because they got Paul Williams, an actual like music industry
Yeah.
insider,
A,
to
le-
play.
a legitimate, well-known, like had a standing invitation to the Johnny Carson show and shit.
It's impressive.
I actually do want to say something interesting about the juicy fruits, like the
That's why
like
we
the-
brought you.
Of course.
Please.
So, like the development of the movie. Brian De Palma originally wanted to use the Shanana.
Shanana.
Yeah, the
Shanana.
Shanana group from like Greece, right?
Yeah.
Like and apparently I guess they're really hard to work with. So Brian De Palma just kind of like rejected the idea of having them as like the juicy fruits. And then he also wanted to like include what is it, the Who's or the Rolling Stone, but they're too expensive to
Oh,
hire.
fucking
Yeah.
This movie, okay, speaking of expensive, this movie had a budget of like 1.9 million, and I'm like,
Wow, that's really low.
it's hella low, right? It's
Wow.
74. But I'm also like, bro, if you got the fucking like Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger's like, I ain't gonna be on screen for any less than like 3.5 mil. Only thing I'm going on screen for. And I'm like, fucking God, what the fuck?
You
Yeah.
mean I can't get 3.5 million?
No.
No.
Well, okay, fun fact though about Mick Jagger, he was almost the star of Fitzcarraldo by Werner Herzog.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was a real thing.
Why?
Yeah, they filmed I think like 2 weeks with him, and then they had to shut down production because I think somebody on like a main cast member got like dysentery because they were filming the fucking Amazon, and then he's like, I'm going on fucking tour, Werner, like later. You can't pay my salary for this long. And yeah, that's why he brought in Klaus Kinski.
Because Klaus Kinski would work for a ham sandwich.
And he will make your life a living hell. Yes. So more you know about Mick Jagger's acting career. He almost played Aragorn, by the way.
No, shot. He
Ugh.
almost played Aragorn.
I almost played Aragorn. I think
in,
yeah.
in like the
In-
Peter Jackson ones.
No, in the back in the 70s when
Okay.
they wanted to like produce Lord of the Rings.
I
I'm
see.
pretty sure that was a thing. Because I think they also wanted the Beatles to be in a Lord of the Rings adaptation, but that was yeah. We could get into all that.
Oh
The
my God.
look, the 70s were defined by cocaine and bad decisions. Truth. But yeah, so back to the movies. So we
and
have
interesting haircuts.
a lot of weird
Yeah.
haircuts. But yeah, we get to see, Winslow's doing his music and all that stuff. And Swan like swindles him out
Mhm.
of his music rights
Yes.
with one of the most like airtight contracts I think any legal team could comprehend, written in, I don't know, Old Englishy. It was Nito,
Yeah, I mean, as the devil does.
as the
Mhm.
devil do, which I'm surprised Winslow's like, I mean, he wants me to sign it in blood. I wonder if he's on the up and up.
Well, isn't that later?
That's later,
that's
yeah.
later.
That's later.
Is that
he
later?
doesn't get a
No,
contract
he
at the
doesn't get
beginning.
a contract.
No,
Oh,
they-
he just
Phil-
takes the
he
thing?
tells
Philbin
them-
just goes, hey, I'll take the music, I'll show it to Swan, we'll get back to you. And then he just
Exactly.
takes the music and, ghosts the man.
And then,
Mm.
like 1 month later, like he didn't receive anything back, so he went to the Swan, the Death Records, record company, and said like, "Well, it's been a month. What's going on?"
I also
The
love it's
lady-
called Death Records. That's fucking metal as hell.
Okay, we'll get to it later, but like, it's something interesting about the record label.
I'm
I do
Name.
like the where he goes in, he talks to the receptionist.
The
and she's-
files?
and the files, and she just opens up the one that says Winslow Leach, not to be seen.
that
Never to be seen.
that feels like a Monty Python gag.
I know.
It's
she's
so
just like,
good.
She's like, 1 minute, please.
Is it
Them- him running around with the security guards is great, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
it's like a Benny Hill bit.
Mhm.
It is funny to me how like it's funny to me how funny this movie is. Like it is
It has
very
gags.
It's-
like,
it
legit
has-
gags.
yeah, it has like Three Stooges gag. It has like silent gags. Like the chase is just it's just Buster Keaton
Yes.
shtick. Yeah, so Winslow finds out his shit's been swindled and he's like, I'm gonna go and get Swan and figure all this shit out, and he goes to the auditions and goes to his stately manner
Mhm.
and the line of women just badly singing. And this is where Winslow finally meets the beautiful singer Phoenix, played by
Yes.
Jessica Harper.
Yes, Jessica
From
Harper.
Suspiria.
Yes, the episode that was lost to the lost episode graveyard of
Yes,
the film club.
It resides in our graveyard, but it may be revived.
It may be revived, but I really like Jessica Harper in this. This is like her on-screen debut. This is her first movie,
It is.
I think.
Really?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
she's really good in this movie. I think she's probably my second favorite actor in the film.
Behind.
It's Paul Williams, the Swan. How can you watch this movie and not be like, that
Not
guy's
Beef?
kind of great? Okay, Beef is great. We'll get into Beef. We'll get into Beef.
Dean's wearing a beef shirt underneath his flannel.
No.
But
Big lightning bolt.
but yeah, this is where we get into the whole like Lee Harvey Weinstein stuff,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh,
I like you guys are going like, yeah. I'm like, bro, it was an open secret back then.
it was. And Randy's like, it was funny, where it's like, they're like letting the girls in or whatever, and they're just like, all right, am I gonna ever get a chance to sing? Yeah, maybe after, honey. And that's like the whole
Girls around the
bit.
couch.
That's
Yeah.
the whole. That's like the whole bit of like, again, the whole movie is basically like, the music industry's really fucked up.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like throwing stones in glass houses movie industry. I see, but and then Winslow managed to sneak in like I think a immaculate disguise.
Oh no! One of the best gags of the movie is when he's getting dragged out by the security and goes, "Do you guys know a department store? Yeah, we'll take you there."
It seems like they actually took him.
It just cuts.
It cuts to the lesbian orgy that
He's
they're
just rolling
like.
around on the bed with. They're like, don't notice me, don't notice me.
They're like, oh, Swan will never recognize me. I'm perfectly,
Mm.
hidden in this.
Oh, one of the best
Dress.
ADR scenes in history.
Oh God. Oh, The ADR, the visual effect. This movie just looks like it had like a $40 like After Effects budget.
Oh, it's good. It's
mwah,
good.
it's beautiful.
It's Kino.
And this is where we finally get to meet Swan when he comes in
With the fog.
with the fog.
Yes.
He has one of the greatest like opening villain
Oh my
lines of
God.
cinema history. I will not repeat because Becky will make me edit out later. And
Good.
then
Can
he
I
gets,
say it so Becky can edit it out later?
No.
but yeah, and they drag him out. They beat his ass, and it is very funny. But we get to finally see what Swan looks like because before this he was Dr. Claw, and we only got to see his hands and gloves.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see a very little man with
Yes.
one of the sickest haircuts I think the 70s could have ever
You know,
produced.
the man's got drip.
Yeah.
Would you describe Swan as just fucking like stone cold killer, just needs a harem in the middle of his room?
Yeah, dude. Like, obviously, like any good music producer would. Paul Williams, they probably just used Paul Williams' house for this. They were like, hey, man, can you use your orgy room for this? He's like, yeah, dude, of course.
Yeah, it's no worries. Yeah, it's right
He's
next
like,
to my
why do you
Kermit
think I
room.
work these long hours?
So like originally, like Swan wasn't. I mean, Paul Williams originally wasn't supposed to be Swan. Like, he was supposed to be Winslow.
Wait, really?
Wait, what?
Yeah, he was supposed to be Winslow. Cause like I guess Garrett, who played Beef, like he said that Paul was supposed to be Swan, and then like Garrett, I think. I don't remember much, and I don't remember like who they wanted to choose as Swan, but they just I think Paul Williams just decided he didn't want to play Winslow because I think he thought he was physically demanding, so he decided to just play Swan and then William Finley to play Winslow. And I thought to myself, like, you know, that's a real, you know, I honestly think it's a great idea that Paul Williams got casted as Swan because he had this like power, you know, form and like power energy into him.
Oh yeah.
He has like an aura about him when he's on screen. It's
Yes.
kind of funny.
Which is weird because Paul Williams is like 5'0", and he's
Oh, yeah, he's
like
small. He's tiny.
he's tiny.
And the guy that plays Winslow is like huge.
Yeah.
He's tall as fuck.
Yes, it's like when Randy and Matt stand next to each other.
Yes.
It's hilarious, but it is one of those things where it's just like Paul Williams is like not like a demanding presence or anything like that, but it is a thing where it's like he has presence, which is
Man's got swag.
he's got swag, he's got the drip, and it is a thing because he wrote all the music for the film.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's a thing where it's like every time he walks into the room or whatever and how the camera shoots him or whatever, you feel like, okay, this guy knows way more than anyone else in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a great performance. Like he's like the best part of this movie. And I don't even know why. I think it's just because he's like hilarious.
But I did find what Cielo was talking about with Garrett Graham. So apparently William Finley, who was Winslow, was supposed to play Swan. Or no, they couldn't find a part for him. They were struggling, and instead of having Garrett Graham be Beef, they wanted Peter Boyle to be Beef.
Peter Boyle?
Who's Peter Boyle?
Young Frankenstein.
He's
Yes.
the monster in Young
Yeah.
Frankenstein. Also
Oh.
the dad in
Everyone Loves Raymond.
Everyone Loves Raymond.
Mm.
Which
We almost got
Weird.
Peter Boyle in this.
That's crazy.
Weird.
Yeah.
also when we get to the Oscar things, there's gonna be a whole thing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Winslow gets thrown out, and the cops beat him up, and they have the
I love the
great.
scene with the cops.
That scene is so fucking
Oh my
good. It's
God.
such a good gag.
Yeah, I love how they're just like, oh, well, what's in his bag? Oh, well, let's have a look. And they literally just the most obvious up over the head and drop the dope right in there. And I'm like,
It's smack, Jack.
and I'm like, so unrealistic. Police wouldn't do that to you. So,
No.
Oh, so unrealistic. And then,
I'm losing it. That scene is so fucking funny.
it's so great. And then where does Winslow get sent?
He
To
goes to
Sing
Sing
Sing.
Sing.
Yes, he
Ah,
does.
get it,
Sing Sing.
I like how Swan is so powerful and so rich that he has like his own prison.
What do you,
Hey, do you not know what Sing Sing is?
It's a real prison.
It's a real
Sing
prison.
Sing's
No,
a
no,
real
no.
prison.
Wait, really?
Yes, it's a real prison called Sing Sing Prison. It's in
It's
like
in New York.
yeah.
Oh. Okay.
You thought that was his own personal prison?
I literally thought. I don't know.
That's
That-
funny. I mean, it would make sense that Sing Sing would be his own personal prison.
I love how
Sing Sing
Cielo's
is a
sitting
real
there and being
prison.
like, no, that's a fucking psyop.
You're
That shit
not
ain't real.
gaslighting me.
Sing Sing ain't real. New York ain't real.
New York ain't
You know,
real.
I ain't promising, like accurate facts. So
She's like, I was brought in for a good time,
the
not
canon
facts.
of the movie is that Swan opened Sing Sing prison himself. That's the canon of the movie now.
Fuck yes, that is canon. That is absolute canon. So he goes.
Here you go, Cece.
oh,
Did you just
okay.
pull up the wiki of Sing Sing?
Yep.
Yeah, it's been open since 1824.
It's been a while for a while. Winslow is in Sing Sing, and they remove his teeth and give him metal teeth for.
There's like one of those like Fallout-esque prison experiments where it's like, well, we don't have to pay dental if we replace all your teeth with metal.
And you guys all volunteered for this. No, I didn't. I'm innocent.
Oh,
Raise
you're
your
innocent.
hand if you're innocent in here, and everybody raises their hand.
I love that. I love that bit. 'Cause that's one of those bits that they do in like every prison movie where it's just like, I'm innocent. Oh, I wonder who else is in it. And everyone's like, yeah, me, I'm innocent, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, there's a few guys in there being like, nah, they caught my ass dead to rights. You got me. But Winslow hears that they're going to open the paradise with his music, and
He hears it on the radio.
hears it on the radio. And then he's like,
I'm gonna attack this guard.
rage out, and just escapes prison,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was pretty easy. It only took 2 cuts.
Yeah.
Only took two cuts, and he's like, I'm out of prison. And I'm like, they literally made a whole Clint Eastwood movie that took like 90 minutes for him to escape from
I
prison.
like that tuck and roll out of the box too. As soon as he hit the ground, he's
I
just
know.
hit the ground running.
I think that's why they cast him. He could do the stunts. The demanding stunts. But yeah, so, and then he goes to, I love how he then runs to Death Records, and he's like going through, they're doing the Benny Hill chase and shit, and then he gets to like the record room, the pressing room, and through a freak accident with a stick of dynamite, gets where he got the dynamite, I still am not
Dynamite
sure.
is so good. He's just got a bundle of dynamite with him.
It's a Wile E. Coyote cartoon stick of dynamite.
A bundle, dude.
A
bundle.
Yeah,
bundle
bundle.
of bundle of sorry, it's not a stick. It's a bundle of dynamite.
Dean,
Which-
it's not a clip, it's a magazine.
Sorry, Moist Critical. It was a mistake. A drop of phrase. And then he, by accident, slips and falls into a record press.
Yes,
Yes.
and he gets his music pressed right onto his face.
Now I found this out.
That's so
Apparently,
metal.
that was a real record press that almost actually crushed his head.
Yes.
Badass.
Yeah.
They told him like it's safe, you're fine, and then
Yeah.
it kept closing on him, and they had to pull him out of there. And I was like, yeah, I don't trust nobody. Fuck you guys.
Brian De Palma's just like, you know what? We'll do another take. Reset. It'll be fine. It only would happen once. Do we reset the safety gear? No, it'll take too much time. Just eyeball it. It'll be fine.
Just put
Get
a
it?
2x4
Eyeball
in the
it?
back of it.
That was literally the stop they put in there.
Please tell me it was just.
It was
2x4.
literally just a 2x4 stopper, and the press came in and broke the 2x4, and then it just kept closing on his head. That's literally what
Badass.
happened. This is what happens when you buy cheap.
Yeah.
The movie only had a 1.9 million budget.
They had to cut somewhere.
They just used Paul Williams' personal record press.
Of course.
Yes,
It's true.
that's when we get into like the studio space. That was great.
Oh, also, like, I want to add also, I guess there was like a pre-release, and apparently, like, there was a scene where they actually showed, like, Winslow getting disfigured,
Oh yeah.
and then, like, I guess I don't know, it's just like an extended scene of like Winslow getting disfigured and then escaping the record label and going outside, and then he escapes, but I don't know, they prove it's not real or something.
Well, I mean, I think that's interesting because it's like, he gets disfigured because the press like it hits his face or whatever, but we don't see the results of it for a while.
Up until
Yeah.
the end.
Up
Yeah.
until like the end of the movie, yeah.
Yeah, the end of the movie is the first time we actually see a good look at it, right?
Mhm.
And then they don't show like him getting shot in the leg, because he did get shot in the leg. That's why there was blood in like his leg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've seen two different versions of the movie, because I remember the first time we watched it at that drive-in, him getting shot at by the police officer. Or whatever.
Yeah.
And this time when we watched it,
It's like a cut,
Yeah.
right?
Well, you guys watched it at the Frida, so usually they're able to get like director's cuts or Academy cuts.
Mhm.
So you guys probably saw everything, and this one, yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, this is probably like the basic theatrical cut of
Yeah.
it. which I can't imagine there's that much changed from it because
No,
the
not
runtimes
really.
are pretty similar.
There was a lot of change into this movie.
Oh, really?
Would you like to?
Oh, please.
Okay, so I guess I'll explain it. So originally it wasn't called like Death Records. It was actually called Swan Song Records.
Mm.
And
Wait a minute, I know that name.
Yeah, from Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin. And there was like a huge like I guess sue, but like in order to like not get this like long fight at courthouse, they changed it to Death Records and they tried to edit out everything that has Swan Records.
I noticed this when we were watching when Swan gets out of the plane, like he's the president, and he's like announcing the opening of the Paradise, that there was the worst overlay I've ever seen in a feature film over the podium where it just says Death Records, and yeah, I can see it jiggling.
Yeah, it's pretty
The
good.
bird is
Okay.
just,
The bird's kind of vibrating because it's like on film stock or whatever, and everything else is like so still and like poised, and I'm like, you did that like 2 weeks before this went out, didn't you?
Okay, you know what? You would think that like, you know, what you said, because I watched like both the 40th anniversary restoration where they had the Swan Song Records and like the one that you guys watched. But when I watched with the Swan Song label, it still looked jiggly.
It's
Really?
Oh, that's
No,
fucking wonderful.
You know, because it's like a restoration, right? So I'm thinking that they didn't have the original without the overlay.
So they
had
just
to
re-overlay. They just
like, now
put
we
a
fucked them
worse
both times.
overlay on it. They're like, we need to maintain artistic integrity. Make that overlay worse, damn it. Oh, that is wonderful. Cause that's also a thing. Cause I'm like, the movie is like, you can tell it's like low budget, right? You know, like even Winslow's like costume is pretty like, we took some shit from a studio backlog and kind of threw it together.
I
like
mean, that's what they do in the movie.
Yeah,
Is it just
and-
takes it out of the wardrobe.
and it makes it work,
storage.
yeah.
and it's like even the sets of everything look like it's the same room. Like Swan's like space that he's like, oh yes, I'm watching the movies, in like Winslow's like writing room looked like the same thing. They just changed the lighting setup. So I'm like, this, I just love how it's like, oh, do you think we could beat Led Zeppelin in a lawsuit? Nah. Okay, put $40 into the After Effects and we'll just fix it in post.
Yep.
Fuck it, we'll fix it in post.
And like it's like so funny because I watched the restoration where they had the Swan Song Records and it looked, I felt so great because it makes sense watching the extended scenes where you see Swan Song Records and then it lows down and then you see Winslow like, you know, putting the glue and putting that poster of Winslow. Like that was pretty long. And then another long scene was when he entered the record label company, and there was this long scene where he's entering the building, and you see like these henchmen carrying out another, like, I don't know if it's like another singer or just a random person, but they're carrying her out, and like, yeah, but they had to cut it out because you can see Swan Song Records.
Oh, that's probably the lady that Philburn was talking about.
Yeah. Actually, that's really interesting because of like that lawsuit or like that funny naming convention that, you know, De Palma, when he wrote it, was probably like, oh, it'll be funny, Swan Song Records.
Yeah.
That's a funny alliteration. And then like, oh, that's fucking real. Man, we already shot too much of the movie. Well, we're just gonna lose like 15 minutes of footage. It'll be fine. We'll just cover
Fix it
everything
in
else.
post.
Fix it in post. Oh, God, this movie is really like, fuck it, we'll fix it in post. Like
I
the
mean,
movie.
the movie's still good. I still
It's
love
funny.
The movie.
It's funny as hell.
Yeah, Paul really outdid himself, the editor.
Oh God. But so Winslow gets like deformed, and then he's like, I must get my revenge. I must escape into the paradise, where he finds the helmet that Randy wants. He finds the
I mean,
cloak.
who doesn't want that helmet?
I don't want the helmet.
Well, you want Griffith's helmet. It's totally
No, I
different.
don't want Griffith's helmet. Fuck
You,
that guy.
you so do. I see it in your eyes.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck Griffith.
Fuck Griffith.
Why fuck
But not
Griffith?
like that.
Not like
not like fuck Griffith, because I know there's some people that you know, but
That want to fuck Griffith.
no, but fuck Griffith.
Randy Berserk Stan. So they get so Winslow gets his helmet. which is his Phantom of the Opera mask. That's I
Mhm.
think in all of the adaptations of Phantom of the Opera.
What,
A
the
mask?
mask?
The mask,
yeah.
right? Okay, cool.
It's-
I don't
it has-
know.
I'm pretty sure the mask is like that. If it
That's
has,
canon.
if it's Phantom, it has the mask.
All right.
But look, we're gonna hire you as the Phantom, but you're gonna be the only one that doesn't get the mask.
It-
No, you say fuck you. I want my own cool mask.
This isn't like Jason where he had a burlap sack and then the mask.
See, that's what I was wondering. I'm wondering if this was a Friday Part 2 to Part 3
No.
situation.
No.
All right. He gets his mask. He gets his cool leather cloak,
Mm-hmm.
his
Mhm.
sequins, and then he disappears into the paradise and starts setting up like attacks on mostly the juicy fruits.
Yes.
He attacks them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He hates the juicy fruits.
Fuck the
blows
juicy
up the
fruit.
car.
He
Blows
does
up
the
the car.
touch of evil scene.
Yeah,
Which is-
the
is-
touch of evil scene. Yeah.
He does it twice. There's 2 Touch of Evils, like things side by side. I'm like, this
Yes.
is so fucking cool. Like, god damn it, Brian De Palma, you mad lad. Because what is it? It's literally like the same thing, right? He gets the stick of dynamite, puts it in the back of the car, and we follow that. And then
Yes.
parallel to that is just the performance. And
Yes.
watching it, I'm like, oh, that is clever. How like the background is moving. They're actually covering up the camera that's following it. So I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
this is the exact same take, which
No,
is
I
neat.
was watching the background of like the camera that's following the car, and they are filming it at the same time. Like it's not like they filmed one and then they filmed the other. They filmed them at the same time. It was kind of really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting thing where I'm like, okay, Brian De Palma, the Grindhouse Hitchcock, he's really fucking good at building tension and
Oh, yes.
in like, yeah, he's stealing from Wells and this and that or whatever, but like implementing it in this way is really really well done. Too bad his movies now aren't so great.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're not
Did he
so-
fall off.
He moved to France and he's like, I'm gonna make movies in Europe with blackjack and hookers and
I see. The French got to him.
Yeah, the friend. Well, after he did the first Mission Impossible movie, he was kind of done with Hollywood.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He directed the first Mission Impossible movie.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Mon Dieu.
Oh, mon Dieu. Oh, mon Dieu. But yeah, but we get that, and like the whole movie kind of evolves from there into a play off of Faust.
Yeah.
Yes.
We get Swan and we get Winslow becoming obsessed with Phoenix, and Phoenix just being the tops with her above average singing compared to everyone else in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, is Phoenix... I know, like, the movie's, like, hinging on the fact that Winslow's like, only she could sing my songs. Only she can perform my music.
Where we were really pulling into Phantom of the Opera.
Really
Mhm.
pulling the Phantom of the Opera. But, like, like, Jessica Harper's singing, I don't know if she's, like, dubbed by a different singer or whatever. Is it, like, that transcendently
No.
beautiful? It's
No.
like... I'm like, she's-
That's us sitting there. I'm like, uh-huh. I'm like, well, it's the 70s. Okay, maybe.
I'm
'Cause,
like,
I mean, originally they wanted Linda Ronstadt.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was supposed to be Phoenix, and I don't know what happened. But I mean, Linda Ronstadt, she's a big, singer.
Yeah.
Academy
I'm gonna have
Award
to. Who dat?
Let me do a Google search.
Well, like, okay, so I guess the reason why Winslow mentioned that Phoenix could be his voice now is because I guess you could say, like, Phoenix is Winslow's muse,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and he doesn't have a voice anymore. I mean, literally, because when when Swan gave him the voice, it's literally Paul Williams' voice. That's why he said perfect, because it's literally Paul Williams'
Mhm.
voice.
Oh, that's actually just Paul Williams' singing voice?
Mhm.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, the Winslow after that point just uses Paul Williams' voice or Swan's voice.
That's wonderful.
I like when Winslow's getting his voice back, and he sounds like a Dalek.
Yes.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Also, that, like, studio where he's in, he's playing the piano and doing all that stuff. That's an actual, like,
Mhm.
music producing studio.
Yeah.
In
That's like
Canada.
a real one, yeah.
Wait, with like the grass between them.
Yeah, that's a real music studio.
That's cool.
I
Uh,
was surprised by how big this movie was in Canada.
Yes,
Oh,
very much so.
yes.
I just want to say, like, Phantom of the Opera, ALW, New York and London, Phantom of the Paradise, Canada. The only thing we got in California was a Las Vegas production of ALW Phantom. That's the only good thing about,
It's not even in California.
Well, yeah, but it's close.
I know.
I like how you're just so angry. You're just like, all these other places, you got your Phantom. I'm over in California. We ain't got shit.
We
ain't
didn't.
got shit.
Like, we got the
Well,
North American tour, but that one's really bad.
But what about the Phantom what is it? Phantom of Hollywood?
Phantom of the Megaplex?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I guess that's good.
Well, that was probably filmed in Vancouver.
No.
And that's why Phantom In Canada, it's not all Canada, just Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's just Winnipeg.
Just
Fucking
Winnipeg, yeah.
Winnipeg loved this movie. When this movie came out, this came out and it flopped hard. It like made 200 grand in its initial run.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's bad.
Yeah, 80% of that was just from Winnipeg. Winnipeg, like immediately, this was their like cult film. It played in Winnipeg for a fucking year.
They have Phantom Palooza.
Yeah, I
The
heard about
Vanna-
this.
There-
So are you gonna take her this year because they're celebrating the 50th
no,
anniversary?
I don't think so.
No,
I
the
want to
wedding
go
coming up. Come
so
on, man.
bad.
Yeah, you honeymooned there.
Yeah,
It's 50th anniversary.
I know.
Paul Williams and some of the actors are gonna be there.
Yeah, and it's
possibly.
like
Holly
the
Williams is
last-
alive?
Yeah.
Yes.
God damn.
Randy, I think he produced
he
a record
did.
for Daft Punk?
Maybe. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
Daft Punk also fucking loves this movie. That's why they have the
Yes.
helmets.
It's
Mhm.
also Nicolas Cage's favorite De Palma movie.
Yes.
Nick Cage just has great taste.
Yes, Nick Cage has great taste.
I like how you're just. Of course, we all know this.
We
Nick
all
Cage
We
has
all
good
know
taste.
this.
That's common knowledge.
Of
Dean.
common knowledge.
But what I like about Winnipeg is that they even did a documentary called Phantom of the Winnipeg.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, is that on the restoration DVD of this?
No.
No, Dean.
I
foolish fool.
only saw the trailer, but I wish there was a DVD of it. I think it's only available like to see in like Fanapalooza or in a random theater that they get to air.
Request the stuff.
Yeah, request the stuff.
Now you guys really have to go to Winnipeg.
You gotta go.
Randy's
Oh,
face
I
when
don't
he-
have to go to Winnipeg.
I want to, but I know we got to save it for the wedding.
Where Randy can dress up like Winslow and you can dress up like Phoenix and it can be a whole thing.
No.
Randy's like, that was something I put down real quick. We're not having a Phantom themed wedding.
No. We're having a Phantom, related stuff in the wedding.
Randy's like, huh?
No, like there will be like hints, but nothing's gonna be overtly like on like a one specific theme.
So
you
do
know?
we
The-
not get masks?
No.
Cielo told me I had to wear a
Aw.
mask and a cape.
No.
That's
Was
a
that not
lie.
related?
That's a lie.
That's
Oh.
a lie.
But this movie it did flop at the box office,
Yeah.
except in Canada. But
Mhm.
it did get it's one Oscar nomination. Now,
Music.
yes, original score, but it lost it
Mm-hmm.
to the
Two.
Great Gatsby.
Really?
Also, fuck the Great
Oh,
Gatsby.
Yeah. That was the same year.
Yeah.
Wow.
For the same year. So here's the Best Picture nominations for everyone who's wondering: The Godfather Part 2, Chinatown, The Conversation, Lenny, Towering Infernos. Those were the Best
Wow.
Picture
Wow.
noms.
Oof.
They got
Hard
comped.
year.
Oh, you want to know what else came out? Because this is the year where Francis Ford Coppola beat himself for Best Picture. Because Godfather Part 2 beat The Conversation, directed in the same year.
Mhm.
Mel Brooks also directed 2 movies this year: Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's a stacked year.
Yeah,
Oh,
1974 is one of the fucking most stacked years in Oscar history. It's fucking
I
ridiculous.
mean, it's also a banger year for movies.
Yeah, it's just a banger year for movies.
I mean, I do still love the Coppola versus Coppola like thing at the Oscars
Where-
where they had him on screen twice.
Coppola's just sitting there. He's like, "Damn it, will I win? Can I beat Coppola?"
Could you imagine you're sitting there, you're Roman Polanski, you made Chinatown, and you're just like, I made probably one of the best movies ever made, and then like you see Godfather Part 2 is getting released, you're like, I guess this ain't my year. I guess it's not my fucking
Polanski's
year.
also an asshole. So
Well,
it's
he
like,
is an
yeah,
asshole,
it's
but
like,
it's funny. But yeah, so the Phantom of the Paradise, right? So this is
You almost said Megaplex.
Phantom. I almost said Phantom of the Megaplex. Well, it's funny because Phantom of the Opera gets adapted or I guess parodied or drawn
Mhm.
inspiration from a lot.
A lot.
lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, this is interesting because I don't think this is drawing a whole lot from. It's drawing a bit from Phantom of the Opera, right? But it's drawing a lot from like Faust. There's the Faustian deals, the
Mhm.
picture of Dorian Gray. It's drawing a lot of inspirations from other
Well, I mean,
stuff.
just a lot of inspiration from a lot of things.
A lot of things.
I mean, even the Invisible Man,
There's an Invisible Man reference in this.
when he hits Beef with the lightning bolt, he gives a very Claude Rains, ha ha ha, kind
Oh
of.
yeah, he does the crowd Rains laugh.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's like you could really see that he leaned on Phantom of the Opera 43,
Yeah,
Mhm.
1943.
43, and Claude Rains and Invisible Man.
I do like me some Claude Rains.
That's why it makes no sense that you haven't seen the movie.
I'm still mad at that.
Give me
She doesn't forgive you.
for God's sake, give me time, people. I'm working on it.
Dean, you watched a movie a day for a year, and you couldn't fit Phantom of the Opera 43 in there somewhere.
I'm sorry.
He's still watching a movie of a day, even though he's like, it doesn't count.
It's-
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it every day. I'm doing it every day or two. You know.
Right.
I had to make room to watch all the Hellraiser movies. All right, I'm sorry.
No one asked you to do that.
Yeah, nobody asked.
I needed to do that. All right.
And how was it?
It got so bad. I thought it hit the worst once I hit number 6. How little I knew then. It got so much worse.
Yeah, another movie that helped inspire Berserk, Hellraiser.
How really?
A little bit.
Oh. That's the only Rainey can only come on now when he gets to talk about Berserk and somehow relate that to the movie we're talking about.
I think you can make it work.
I can't wait for us to do Conan the Barbarian.
Oh my god.
So, I guess a big thing about this month we're doing, camp musicals, right? So I'm curious, what do you guys qualify as like camp? Like, what is a campy movie, and does this qualify as camp? Gonna get real broad on you.
I have
Get
no,
real
no
thorough.
fucking clue.
No fucking clue. Randy's like, I don't really know.
I mean, they're always like trying to get like a battle between Phantom of the Paradise and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Mm-hmm.
That's the battle between those, because they are really related.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know that the Winnipeg said that Phantom of the Paradise is a lot better than Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh man, they're obsessed.
The fighting words.
Damn. I mean,
Honestly, though, I do kind of like this movie more than Rocky Horror. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, me too, honestly.
We are so surprised.
I mean, like, we can get into that. Like, this, I really did enjoy this movie. I think it's funnier than Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
I don't know if the music's better though.
No.
Oh, I like the music in this one.
You think you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as catchy or whatever as let's do the time warp again.
I mean,
But-
Time Warp's is like Stone Cold Banger of the Century though.
Yeah.
But I mean, Phantom of the Paradise was supposed to be like a live stage musical.
Mhm.
It was supposed to happen, but it didn't. So I guess, Rocky Horror Picture is practically the winner because it's a movie and it's also a live musical. So.
And it's still going.
It's still going.
Yeah, I mean, it is a thing because they're very related movies. Because I think Rocky Horror comes out the year after.
It comes out the year after. The stage performance starts in 1973, so it came out before
Phantom
Paradise. Yeah.
And then Jessica Harper was in the sequel to Rocky Horror
The
Picture
Shock
Show,
Treatment?
The Shock Treatment. Yeah.
Yep. She gets to play Janet in the sequel. No, who the fuck does she play in the sequel?
I don't know. I haven't watched the movie. I
Fuck.
just know it.
Fucking Christ, these people.
But it's all tied together, man.
Ugh. But I don't know. I think the thing about this movie and its campiness, right? Like Rocky Horror, everyone's like, oh, that's campy and all this stuff. I think there's an aesthetic that goes into this because I think it's low budget and a very tongue-in-cheek sense of humor, and this is
definitely.
very tongue-in-cheek.
And also, dive bombing at the box office when it came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It turns into a midnight movie, and then that's where you really generate the crowd. Where I gotta see this. Why is it so bad? Why are people fighting to watch it?
I think that's a qualification to make this cult because this is a very cult movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I also love it when people are like, "Oh man, this movie, fucking cult classic. Have you ever heard of Goonies? Cult classic." And I'm
You're
like,
bro.
bro, that was one of the biggest movies of the fucking what are you talking about? You can't call fucking Avatar a cult classic. It made more money than God.
Yeah, no one's making that mistake.
No one's doing that
No,
anymore.
No.
Not anymore because I have made it clear that I will get angry at them if they do that shit. But yeah, I really like this movie. It was fun.
Where were we in the
Yeah,
movie?
I
think
know we
were at-
haven't even got to the climax.
We're
so
not
yeah.
even getting to the climax yet. I think we got to the point where Winslow has started attacking everyone in
where he offs the juicy fruits.
He offs the juicy, I think he offs the juicy fruits, and then they come back later as somebody totally different. Don't worry about it. And
They're different characters.
they're different characters, but I think this is around the time where he Phoenix starts performing, and then Swan and Winslow finally make that Faustian bargain.
They make their old English contract.
The ye olde English contract that's the size of a goddamn phone book. I love it. And they sign in blood, and now we can finally get back to the joke I made earlier, where it's like, why did Winslow not see this as a problem?
He just wanted to make his music, man.
He had no choice, and also Winslow did say, like, I will sign it, but you must be playing what I write, my katana, and have Phoenix in it. And Swan promised him, but obviously that.
I mean, the contract said he didn't have to promise him anything.
Yeah. Also, it's like one of the best gags in the movie is Winslow like signs it, and then Swan pricks his finger, and then takes out a stamp
and wipes it
the
and
blood on the stamp and stamps his name.
That's
such a good gag.
I was thinking of, I think it was like the Marx Brothers movie Night at the Opera, where they have the contract scene. It's like the second clause, the third clause. I don't like that clause. We'll take it out. And throws it
That's what I
away.
thought. Sanity clause. He's not real.
The movie has a lot of gags in it. It's great.
We love a good Easter egg.
We do. And then it gets to Phoenix does her number, and we're like, that was pretty good, I guess.
He's just
Bye.
like, I don't like her.
No, I like
Is
her.
it beef level performance? No.
No.
Yes, that's the thing. So Winslow was like, only Phoenix can sing my music, and Swan's like, yes, not a problem. And then immediately finds a different singer, and we go through every different genre singer singing the same thing. We have the country
where
person,
he's like in like the circular desk.
And
The
it's-
big record. I
the
love
big
that he
record
keeps
desk.
spinning around.
like he's fucking Darth Vader. And it goes from we have like the soul version, we have the country version, and we have the rock version. Then we get to the like early shock jock thrashy version with Beef.
And he's like, oh, perfect.
Ah, perfect. And I love how he's just screaming. There's not even like any singing.
Nope.
And then we finally get to see Beef perform, and he's how would you describe Beef's actual speaking voice, Randy? I'm curious.
He sounds. We can cut this later. He sounds a lot like Crunch.
What's the line he
sounds
says?
Slightly. He sounds a little slightly effeminate. Let's say.
I would try and mimic his voice, but we would definitely get canceled if I mimicked his voice.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
we're not doing that.
It's so good though.
It's the thing where it's like there's no like malice in it. I don't think it's a funny gag, but yeah, Beef is a character.
Yes.
he's easily like my favorite part of the whole thing. And he's not even in the movie that long, like maybe 20 minutes ish.
It's a Hannibal Lecter style performance. He's in it for 15 minutes, steals the whole movie.
Yep.
You think he's there the whole time.
I mean, I love that we even get a Psycho Easter egg in the movie.
Yes.
As Beef's in the shower. Winslow comes in, cuts it through, and then, just plunger to the face. You don't perform my shit.
Actual plunger.
Actual could you?
Plunger.
I want to imagine Winslow came in with a knife and he's like, look, a plunger. And I'm like, no, that's a used plunger. No, this is the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in
Beef
my
would be
life.
like, just stab me. I don't want any of those that bacteria, that germs.
I like when he removes the plunger too. Beef lets out the little.
I do have some funny facts about that scene. So
that was a real plunger, yes.
oh my god. So
De Palma's personal house plunger.
You know how Beef's singing voice is actually dubbed. Ray Kennedy is Beef's singing voice.
Yeah.
However, in the shower scene, that's actually the actor singing in the shower.
Oh, really?
And it was
Yeah.
good.
And Brian De Palma was like, "Man, I should have got him to sing."
He's like, it would have been cheaper.
And then apparently they had to shoot that scene multiple times, that plunger scene.
I want him. He just keeps missing him and just keeps doming him in the face or
He's
doming
like,
him in the
it's this
chest.
damn helmet. I can't see anything.
Can't see shit.
Also, because there's like that fogged over thing on one helmet. Like there's a lens on one side of the helmet, and then it's just like an open one on the other
Well,
side.
yeah, because
Yes.
it's concealing the eye.
Yeah, but I'm like, that is probably one of those things where it probably fucked up his depth perception. Like walking around on set, he's probably bumping into shit.
My bad. Sorry.
My bad. I'm sorry. I only got one good eye. Give me a
That's
second.
sometimes when he's talking or looking at somebody, he'll look at them straight on normal, and other times he's cocked so he can
He has-
look at
he
them
has
through
to
the
cock-
helmet.
It's probably also a thing where hey, can you cockeye it so we don't have to do the makeup on that side of your face? He's
Yeah,
like,
true.
I got you, Bri. I got you. And then Beef is like, I ain't gonna be here when you open the paradise. Fuck you guys. And then
He was just
Phil Bin's
attacked by
like-
the Phantom.
he was
Yeah.
attacked by the Phantom. I also he was like, it's true, this place is haunted. Blah blah blah. I'm like, what was that a thing? Were people talking about that early in the movie? How well known was
yeah,
Winslow?
Yeah,
because
they make a reference to it.
Yeah. Because the Juicy Proofs got off by a phantom, man.
Hey, Swan said that was just a freak pyrotechnics accident. All right, and I
That's
trust
what
Swan.
Swan says.
Swan
There
says.
are no accidents.
There are no accidents.
Dum 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 dum
Dun, dun.
dum.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
Also, I like how he's, just like taking
Yeah.
some coke on the way to the bathroom.
this movie is very open with its drug use. Oh god, when Winslow's writing the music and Swan's like, "Wakey, wakey, I have breakfast," and opens the
opens the pharmacy in a suitcase.
opens a suitcase that Hunter S. Thompson would swoon over.
Oh,
A
my.
little pick me up.
A little pick me up. I also like how it's like, yeah, that was the 70s breakfast of champions, amphetamines and cocaine. Ooh, Lord.
Oh my god, before that pill scene, I love the Swan's line, "Tasty, Winslow, tasty."
Tasty, Winslow, tasty.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my god, there's like a lot of funny, lines in that movie.
Oh, God,
Especially
yes.
Beef when like Winslow found out that he's like trapped, and then Winslow was screaming, and then Beef just opens the door and says, "What was that?"
What was that?
What was
you guys
that?
Didn't hear that?
Much like when Beast's trying to leave and he goes, "I'm going home to see my mother." And Phil is just like, "Get your ass back
I'm
upstairs."
a professional.
And then we get the Caligari Frankenstein inspired
Yes, we
rock
do.
opera. It's fucking metal as hell. They're chopping people up in the crowd, throwing body parts.
Wait. Before we get to that, though, I like the where Philbin like pulls out the vial and shows it to Beef, and Beef's like, "No, that'll bring me down."
Well, you better calm down.
No, that'll bring me down. I like him. He's just so like, no, I don't wanna.
Now, some guy just threatened my life, but I don't want to come down, man.
Like, Speed, what do you know about speed?
You feed me these things.
I just take them.
Oh God.
Yeah, but
This-
the rock opera part is like easily one of the best parts of the whole
Mhm.
movie.
Also,
it's so good.
because this movie is both kind of like low budget and cheesy, in my head I'm like, okay, I need to know for my own cognitive dissonance, am I supposed to believe they're actually chopping people up in the audience, or are those supposed to be dummies? I
No,
don't
they're-
know.
they're
Supposed to be
dummies.
dummies 'cause they're part
Well-
of a performance.
But I know they're part of the performance, but this is Swan we're talking about here.
No, he's not actually chopping people up.
I'm just saying, in the movie where that girl is
No.
like waving her arms, and then it cuts into the close up of them chopping her arm off, and I'm like, am I supposed to believe that was her actual arm?
There's no
No.
blood.
Okay, so
Well, this movie's cheap, Randy.
Okay, so movies like House on Haunted Hill, where they would send the skeleton flying over the audience to, spook people. Did you really think, wow, they scared someone to death? They jumped out of their skin, and there goes their body flying across the theater.
I am there for a good time. I'm
Oh.
buying into the performance.
You're so gullible. It's cute and a little dangerous.
Look, sometimes the van actually has candy in it, okay?
Stop hopping in random vans.
They have candy. Fucking Christ.
But yeah, the rock opera performance is fucking
Oh,
good.
it was metal,
It's so
yeah.
good.
Super good. And then when they finally they do the lightning strike, and then Beef emerges from the Frankenstein casket thing. Becky's favorite part of the movie because Frankenstein references.
Fuck yeah.
And then he goes out and he starts playing, and then Winslow's like,
And then
no.
we get, real Phantom of the Opera where, he's running around, he's up in the rafters, so it's like we're tying these two together.
And then
fucking lightning.
Winslow's like,
Ooh.
lightning, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like, this neon sign will kill him somehow.
I actually have some fun facts about that lightning scene. So, remember about that swan song fiasco?
Yes.
Mm.
So, the producers and the manager of the Swan Song Records, Peter Grant, they watched the movie just so they can pick out of the Swan Song Records title. And then when they got to the lightning scene, Peter just bursted into tears because there was actually an actual lead singer that got electrocuted on stage.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah,
I can believe that.
I don't remember the name of the band and the lead singer, but I remember that Peter just bursted crying, and the producers were trying to convince him no, there's no way Brian De Palma can cut that scene out.
He's like, no, they must get rid of it. This is tragic. And
It's
they're like,
too-
bro, we cannot cut that. We cannot.
Brian De Palma's like, I will not allow you to butcher my movie anymore. Look at the overlays, man. I can't do
Look at
this.
those overlays. Christ alive. Look at the overlays.
Oh, God. Be glad this wasn't a Martin Scorsese flick. He would have tried to kill a producer, all right? But yeah, so Beef is dead.
Yes.
Mhm.
Beef got fried.
Mm-hmm.
And Philbin, is working for
Well
a good
done.
time trying to put him out. He's just like, yeah, he's dead.
We gotta get him out of here.
And then they're finally like, okay, we need somebody to step in. Get that Phoenix girl, the backup singer. And then, she performs, and it's very, pretty and nice,
That's
and
good.
it's
I like
pretty
that
good.
song.
It's
I like
okay.
that song.
It's a good song.
It's a
I-
good song. It's all right.
Oh my
It's
God.
not like transcendent, launch 1,000 seas, but it's pretty good.
Remember that scene where Winslow killed someone who is in charge of the lightning?
Where he goes up and
he, like,
hitmans
corrodes
him.
him?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's Hitman fucking blood money and drops the guy. Yes.
So that is a reference to the 1943
Mhm.
movie where Claude Rains' Phantom, he just killed a chorus.
We get it, Cielo. I
Yeah.
need to watch 1943.
I know. Well,
get it.
that's the last reference. I promise you.
I mean, it's also important too because Winslow kills a lot of people, and in the 43 version, it's multiple people that Claude Rains is killing. It's just he's like, oh no, he was here. He killed 2 people at a time. It's just bodies on bodies just stacking.
It's a fucking slasher movie.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Well, okay. Every Phantom of the Opera killed somebody, but it's the reference.
I'm curious about that. In Phantom of the Megaplex, did the Phantom kill anyone in the Disney movie? I don't
Okay,
think
that
he
one
did.
I don't remember.
That's what. Point to Dean. I know more about Phantom than Cielo.
Didn't
No.
he kill the inflatables at the theater?
Those aren't people. They're
In a
communists.
in a
They're not
Disney
persons.
movie, they're basically people.
They are.
It's true. It's true. They're communists. They're not real people.
Communists?
The-
do with
this,
anything.
this took a turn.
But yeah. So what were we talking about? Phantom of the Paradise.
Yes, Phoenix just finished her performance.
And now she's a star.
She's
A star.
They're gonna finish opening the paradise tomorrow.
And then Swan's like, I will take Phoenix to my humble abode and then show her the ways of being a star. And then we have Winslow just watching from the
It's so
skylight.
bad.
Yes.
And then, Phoenix is just loving up on, Swan, good old tiny Paul Williams. And then I love how as she's making out with him, he just clicks the little remote, and then he can watch Winslow watching them, watching him getting boinked.
Watching
Swan's
him
this is so
watch them.
fucking meta.
Swan's just yes, misery, yes, delicious. And then that is when Winslow stabs himself, and Swan's like, it's not that easy, motherfucker, because I'm magic. And then I'm like, wait, you're magic?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. And I guess that's when we find out that Swan is Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's not saying.
No.
He's made a bargain.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's made a bargain with
Faustian
Satan.
bargain.
A Faustian bargain, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I am curious though, is that the deal in Faust, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Eh.
Faust.
Well,
He
no,
makes
like-
a deal with the devil.
Like you can't kill yourself with a Faustian deal. Is that a
Oh.
thing?
No,
I don't know.
All right.
It's not like any of us have ever done any research.
Mm.
I tried to do some research,
She's like, I got through most of Faust.
it's surprising because I actually have the book A Picture of Dorian Gray too, and I
Mhm.
wanted to finish reading it, but oh my god, I cannot.
It's a big
little
book.
too boring for me.
Yeah.
I liked Picture of Dorian Gray. That's a good book.
It is, but there was I got to the theater scene where Dorian Gray was infatuated with the girl from a Shakespearean theater group, and then when she started acting really bad on stage, he's just like, man, she's not good looking to me anymore.
He
And then-
is shallow, I will admit, yes.
And then after that, I just got bored because I'm just like, man, I missed that. I missed that part of the book.
She was like, I got enough to know I'm not going to finish this book.
Now, can I talk real quick about how Phoenix was so easy to flip on being like, no, I will not do any sexual
Yeah.
Her
favors.
first scene in the movie is, why can't I just sing? I don't want to fuck, I just want to sing. And then this is where
and
she's
then
like,
when she actually
eh?
gets famous, she's like, sucky, sucky.
She's like, I'll do whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, a chance at getting famous, no sucky, sucky. A guarantee of getting famous, oh god, I'm on my knees.
Jesus Christ. But
So bad.
it is really bad. But I think it's going with the whole movie of it just being it's
tongue in cheek at the music
tongue-in-cheek.
industry.
yeah, it's everyone's shallow, everyone's trying to get a head up, all this, the suki suki, it's funny.
Head up.
Yes. So but we find out that Swan is immortal, and that Also,
in that interesting film.
in that yes,
Oh, I like the part where Winslow stabs himself and Swan's like, not that easy. And then Winslow takes the knife out and stabs Swan. And Swan's like, I'm under contract too.
Like, damn it!
It's like all nonchalantly, like, bitch, that's not gonna work.
it's like this ain't the first time somebody stabbed me, dog. Come on.
And
I'm Paul Williams. I'm from the streets, man.
And then, because Winslow's a Cape Crusader on top of like this like stormy night on
Yes.
top of his mansion, just flies off into the night like he's Batman.
Rachel!
Honestly, watching this, I'm like, I've seen this in
Yes.
Batman the Animated
Yes,
Series.
yes.
I've seen this before.
I don't know if it's true, but I think Paul Williams voiced the Penguin. I don't know what animation series though.
Wait, really? It's badass.
I know he's in Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh yeah,
Really?
definitely.
He cameos in Dexter's Laboratory.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think he's done like a bunch of voiceover work, and he's still like producing music now. But yeah,
He's 83,
good,
and he's still going.
good for him.
Yeah.
Him and Scorsese could go to the same geriatric ward.
Shut the
They're both old. But I mean, Clint Eastwood's over there being like, these fucking young whippersnappers.
Yeah,
Paul
sure.
Williams just barely out of the cradle.
Mhm.
But oh god. So Swan is gonna put on the big performance, and he's gonna get Phoenix under contract, and Phoenix is now just blotto, just sitting there snorting her little coke,
Yep.
doing her little pills, and Swan's like, sign this, and she's like, oh well, okay, and they're gonna get married at the
Mhm.
Paradise to open it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But Swan's like, we're gonna shoot Phoenix, because an assassination on television, that's gonna really get the ratings up.
Mhm.
That's
I'll-
entertainment.
That's entertainment. And I'm like, bro,
Give
we're
him
not
old
far enough out of the
razzle-dazzle.
60s. That's a little too real, my guy.
That's a little too.
That's a little too real, my guy. And Winslow's like, no, I must save Phoenix. And then comedy ensues.
Well, Winslow finds the Faustian tape. We get to
Mhm.
watch young Paul Williams doing his bargain.
Young Paul Williams in big quotes, where they just combed his hair back into like a
I
Beach
did like
Boys.
I did like the Beach Boys deal
Yep.
that he had. I was like, wow, it feels like the 50s in here.
It's oh my god, it's so funny. Where he's like, I will kill myself because I won't be young anymore. And
I
then
won't be young and beautiful.
and then
He's like 40.
yes, it is so good, and it's like, oh, this tape will age more than you do, and blah blah. And I'm like, he looks the exact same.
Yep.
His haircut's just different.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why in the audio of like his contract with Winslow and his contract with Phoenix is why he sounds very weird in the
Mhm.
audio of those is because he's supposed to be like aged up.
That makes sense. But yeah, so they do the whole like Winslow figures out the Faustian bargain because Swan has them tucked away in his giant videotape library, which I love how Winslow was just like, it's this one exact one. This is the one. Does it say contract on it?
Like contract
Yeah,
on
it just
it.
says contract.
Swan, just have it titled like vacation pics. No one's gonna look at those. No one's gonna look at those.
I like how he's like, I have to like destroy all of these things in here. Let me just throw a TV at it.
It looks like an effect from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. They just where they throw like a milkshake on the floor and it bursts into flames.
Yes.
Oh god.
And he had to burst into flames because, if the video goes, Swan goes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. And then he goes out and he's like stops the assassin who's putting together like the fucking sniper rifle. And I'm
That's
like,
taking him like 5 days to put together. Like he just bought it from IKEA. Like, oh, okay, let me. Put
I
that
would-
piece.
Some assembly required.
I
Some,
would
a little bit.
love if the suitcase literally said IKEA furniture on it, and he opens it up and he's like gets the actual IKEA instructions out and starts putting the thing together. That would just be funny.
Plate of meatballs off to the side.
Oh man, we should get IKEA meatballs after this.
No, God.
IKEA's so fucking far from here.
Yeah.
But Winslow manages to save Phoenix from getting assassinated.
I mean, he grabs the barrel and the guy ends up shooting Philburn, who's the Pope.
Philbin, yeah.
Well, he's
Philbin.
supposed to be the priest performing it, but he's dressed as the Pope.
Pope.
Yes.
The Holy Father, as it
Yeah.
were.
I like how excited Philbin got when Swan was like, "You be the priest," and he's like, "A priest? I've never been a priest. That's terrific."
He's like, "Thank you. I
Never
thought
been
we
a
were
priest
friends. I didn't know we were this close of friends."
And then he
Swan."
gets got.
Yep.
And he gets got, and then
And then, like, everything loses it. Like, all
I-
the people go crazy.
Yeah.
Winslow, like Batman, rappels down into the stage, and him and Swan get into the fight, and then Swan's mask comes off, and we get to see a ghoul from Fallout.
Yeah, hey, smooth skin, what's going on?
And Phoenix is crying, and then Winslow takes the bird mask off one of the dancers, because there's bird dancers, and kills Swan, and then somebody else in the audience is like, man, that looks kind of cool. And then somebody else in the audience starts taking the bird mask and starts killing Swan.
I know who that person is. It's William Shepherd. So, William Shepherd is, I guess he was one of the gorilla suits for King Kong, the one with Jessica Lange.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
So the
And,
70s one? Okay.
And then also, like, he did the choreography for the wedding. And he kind of also helped out with the casting, basically, with Brian De Palma, because he was in this college. I don't... Oh, it was called Immaculate Heart College. And he had like Sarah Ballantine, who's also in the movie, and he was also.
So he's not just some guy.
Yeah, he's just not some guy, which is strange because
I'm feeling called out. I'm sorry.
which is like funny because like at the end you see William Shepherd and then Sarah Weisner Finley, who is William Finley's wife. She gets to wear the mask at the end of the movie.
Oh, that's who that. Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I
like
like.
how Brian De Palma just like has like anybody who's like around being like, yeah, can you be an extra? Like,
Just
I
do that.
ain't no extra.
You know
extras.
this. I mean, how many times we work on your movies, your friends' movies, where it's,
Oh.
you know, everyone just steps in and does a different job.
Mhm.
I've been a lot of actors' hands in a lot of different
Yeah.
films we've done.
Oh, but
Oh, and
go
then
ahead.
another thing I forgot is that William Shepherd was in Dionysus 69 from another Brian De Palma film.
Oh, well, this is something else I know. So Becky, do you know
Dionysus 69?
Brian De Palma made some weird fucking movies,
Okay.
but like Murder a la Mode,
Mm-hmm.
wild movie. But Becky, so do
Yeah.
you know who the set dresser for this was?
Yeah.
Sissy Spacek.
Yes, the woman who would later go on to play Carrie,
Yeah.
like what the next year, like 2 years
Ah.
after
2
this.
years, and she did a horrendous job, I guess. They were like, yo, we got to get Sissy out of here. And I was like, why? I didn't see anything. It goes with the aesthetic.
Well, the other thing is she also met her husband on this
Yeah,
movie because he
she
was
did.
the art director. Yeah, but like Brian De Palma's like, that weird set dresser girl over there. I don't like her.
Mhm.
Read Stephen King's Carrie. I have an idea. Weird set dresser girl. Hurry, put on the prom dress and get the pig blood. I was losing breath. Get the pig. Get the pig blood. We'll figure it out. But yeah.
I do like how they go like all Caesar must die. On
Yeah.
Swan.
They kill Swan, and then Winslow's dying. He's doing the crawl away, and it's like,
Oh, and
"No."
he finally gets his mask ripped off, so we get to see his disfigured face.
I love how it's so obvious. His disfigured eye is just a ping pong ball with a drawn on iris on
Like
it.
Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is great. And
I
you know,
do really like how Swan literally looks like a ghoul from Fallout, like literally 1-to-1 like a ghoul from Fallout. He's smooth skin.
Randy's watching this movie, and it's like, oh, they're gonna do the Fallout TV show soon. They need to study this makeup work. This is how you do it. Because he looks like a ghoul.
He literally does.
No, I just love that Winslow's just crawling to. I keep wanting to call her Christine, and I'm like, it's not. It's
not
Phoenix.
Christine.
I'm like,
Phoenix.
he's
Well,
crawling
I'm
to
guessing her name's probably not actually Phoenix. It's probably like a stage name.
No, I know, but I'm thinking Phantom. So he's just crawling to her, and he finally dies, and she goes, "Oh shit, that is you, Winslow." And she's like, bruh.
And I love how she's crying. She's like, I loved you, Winslow, no. And then it starts pulling back. And I love how it pulls back. And then there's just this, everyone's dancing and vibing. And then there's the one girl, I guess his wife, wearing the mask, just standing stock still on the fucking stage as everything pulls back. And I'm like, what the fuck is that?
It's the 70s.
Oh, God.
Everybody's just like, yeah, all these people died, but I'm high as fuck. I'm gonna keep partying.
That's the other thing. To the audience thing is like, this is just part of the show, right?
Or,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's an act.
It's an act, you know? It's like, man, when I stabbed that performer, it felt pretty real.
It felt real. That's badass.
Badass. Oh,
And then after the movie, you get that fun ending credits and Paul Williams singing "Hell of It."
Yeah.
okay. The Hell of It song, that's my favorite song in this movie.
Yeah.
I love that. It's great.
He also performed on the Brady Bunch Variety Hour.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't doubt it, you know?
Paul Williams, the Forrest Gump of the music industry. Oh,
I just kept running and running.
but yeah, so that is Phantom of the Paradise. Dum, 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 dum. So, how'd you guys like the movie? Thoughts?
It's good.
Opinions?
It was really fun.
Yeah, it was a fun movie.
This is your first time watching it.
It's my first time watching it.
Would you watch it again? Does
Yeah.
it dethrone any other camping musicals in your life, like a Rocky? Or,
No.
You know,
No.
no.
But I would watch it, and I do want the helmet.
Can I be like totally honest? Like I
Hate
literally
this movie.
No, I literally
It's disgusting. It ruins the fandom for
Oh
you.
my god. I literally thought that Becky was going to hate it because usually the people who first watch the movie, sometimes they actually don't like it. Like they think it doesn't make sense. And sometimes we got to like tell them like, "Oh, well, you got to watch it the second time. Then you'll get it and then you'll like it."
It's one of these movies. You got to watch it a few times. It's like Under the Silver Lake. You got to go into it.
I mean, I did watch the trailer, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is going to be rough. And then I got into it, and I was like, oh, no, there's an actual story here. I'm like, it's just they cut the trailer in a way that feels like it's going to be Fear and Loathing, where it's just kind of like a vibe movie.
Oh,
Well,
God.
I feel like this movie is like it's like you don't take it very seriously. Like you just go along. It's funny. Like,
It
the
opens
gags
with
are
the
good,
Rod
like-
Serling doing a Twilight Zone narration and then
Yeah.
goes into the juicy fruits. There's no way somebody's going to be like, I know Godfather 2 came out this year, but this might be a contender.
Yeah, nobody's gonna be like, wow, this is a really serious, landmark of cinema.
I mean, it's well made. It's
It's well
schlocky,
made
but it's
for-
well made.
It's well made for its
Mhm.
budget.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, this is like Brian De Palma before he like hits it like crazy big when he
Yeah.
does Carrie a few years later. So it's like, this is really weird because he makes, does Carrie, does
Mhm.
Blowout, does this, that. He goes into like thrillers and all these other things, but it's like wild to see that he, not only directed this, he wrote this fucking movie. And it's like,
Mhm.
this is a weird madcap, like schlocky comedy musical.
Yeah.
And then his rest of his career, he's like, let's not do any of that shit anymore.
He got it all out.
Got it all out, But Cielo, so your thoughts on The Phantom of the Paradise? Does it hold up to the ideals of Gaston LeBlanc?
LaRue.
LaRue. LaRue.
I think
Would he enjoy it?
Oh, would he enjoy it?
Because they were the
Oh.
best of friends?
Maybe.
No, I honestly think he wouldn't enjoy it. I mean, like, he was around when he watched the 1925 one,
Mm-hmm.
so
He was alive for that?
yeah, he was
Yeah.
still alive for that.
Oh, what the fuck?
It was only like a 30 or 40-year turnaround from the book.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't.
It's like the thing where like H.G. Wells was alive for The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
That's still fucking weird to me. Still fucking weird.
I think it still holds up though. I mean, it's not for everybody, that's for dang sure, but for people who are really big fans of Phantom of the Opera, like they really got to watch it. It's so good.
It's also like a really good campy movie. Like it's just fun.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's just a fun movie.
This is definitely like a theater kid movie,
Yeah.
right? Like
Oh, yeah.
if you're a theater kid, you put this on, you're gonna have a fun time. You're gonna quote it, you're gonna sing along. It's a good movie. I like it.
If you like watching movies that poke fun at different like industries, is really good for that too.
Yeah.
This is almost like a scathing view at the music industry. It's really like, oh, it's all product. Like everyone's a creep. You're selling your soul for fame, and
Well, what
they
was
will
that
ruin
other
your shit.
movie, like Josie and the Pussycats or something.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of that.
Josie and the Pussycats, cinematic masterpiece. I can't wait for us to do
You
that on
love
the
that
podcast.
movie.
I think I've seen that movie maybe once or twice when I was very young, and I had no.
I don't know. You
memory
talk
of
about it a lot.
I don't talk about it a lot, but like the opening of that movie makes me laugh every time.
The opening of the movie is so fucking stupid.
It's great. It's so great.
Backdoor lover.
That's the fucking jam right there. But yeah, any final thoughts on Phantom of the Paradise?
I think the music is a little bit better than we're giving it credit for.
I think it's good. I just don't think it's catchy and isn't as memorable
I
as
would
most.
agree, but I mean, I did really enjoy the music. Like, it's good during the movie, I would say.
Yeah. There's no bad songs in the movie.
I totally agree with
Everybody
that.
else is just like,
I've only seen it the one time, so
I'm in the opinion there's no bad songs in the movie. There's just no like great out and out
you're not
bangers.
gonna put any of them on your like Walkman.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like because I watched it like a bunch of times. I don't really know how many times that I watched that movie, but it was really interesting. Like I watch a lot of movies just for pure entertainment.
Yeah.
And this was kind of like my first time kind of
Analyzing.
analyzing and then researching. And it was really fun, like knowing all these like tidbits. I mean, I know for dang sure that there's like a lot of tidbits I haven't mentioned, but yeah, it's something.
You want to rattle off a few?
Usually,
Can I?
Usually we do Boo's Trivia Corner, but
We do. I don't have any trivia, so if you want to rattle off
I do.
a Cielo fun fact.
Cielo fun facts.
So you know the cocaine that Beef snorted?
Yes.
Mhm.
Is it real cocaine?
No, it's lactose pills.
Ooh.
Oh.
Really?
That
They
sounds-
like chopped up lactose pills?
Yeah. And like, but not recommended to snort. Like Beef
Yeah.
had a hard time.
That sounds great.
And then in the audition scene, Angeline is like in the audition scene. Like you can see her briefly.
Who's that?
Angeline is like a Billboard queen.
Oh,
A
really?
billboard.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. And like fun fact about that also, Angeline has like her own like TV series drama,
Mhm.
and the person that played Angeline is Emmy Rossum, and Emmy Rossum was in 2004 Phantom of the Opera.
Christine.
Wow,
That's
like-
a 6 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
relating
then,
everything back is like crazy like that.
and then Philbin, Mary Philbin from 1925
Mhm.
Phantom.
Oh.
That
Mhm.
reference, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what else? I think I know John Chambers was the makeup designer, and then I know there's like 3 makeup designers: John Chambers, Rolf Miller, and Thomas R. Berman. Rolf Miller, I think he did the Swan makeup, and then Thomas R. Berman did the Winslow makeup,
Mhm.
and then his brother did the helmet, and he made the helmet out of fiberglass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Pretty cool.
And then yeah, that's kind of it.
That's all
Honestly.
you got? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, also, like, Phantom of the Paradise was also a book, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so
they
it's-
adapted this into like a book version, and they took out all the supernatural elements.
Wait, really?
Yeah, there's none of that
That's
in the
so
book.
weird.
Yeah.
None of that.
You
Well-
figure you really dive into the lore in the book.
You would think so,
Yeah.
right?
And then another thing, also, like, the filming, like, locations is pretty interesting. I think the Paradise was Majestic Theater
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
Dallas.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's kind of funny because Majestic Theater in New York. And then the Grey House Mansion. It was the interior of Swanage, and also my favorite filming location because I kind of low-key want to get married there, but I know that's like really expensive.
Randy's like, oh my god.
Wait, what is the place called?
The Greystone Mansion.
Greystone Mansion.
Yeah.
I mean, that place looked very
Batman-esque.
fancy. Batman.
And yeah, that's kind of all the trivia I got. I know there's like a bunch more. That's what I like about the movie now. It's like you see a lot of tidbits. And,
I gotcha.
yeah, it's always new. and
I'm
interesting.
actually curious because you like Brian De Palma movies. Like I know you like Carrie. Is
Mhm.
this your favorite Brian De Palma movie? Now
Yes.
it is.
Blowout's like my second favorite.
Oh, Blowout's such a good movie.
Well, it's fucking, I'm
I
surprised
think-
you guys haven't done Blowout yet.
Boo, we can do a whole De Palma month. We can do Mission Impossible and Blowout and Carrie and
Oh, then, yeah,
others.
then you have to pick like one of the really weird ones.
We can do Murder a la Mode.
Wait, have you guys done Scarface?
Yes,
Oh,
we
okay.
have.
Yeah, and that one was funny because we were just like, so does Al Pacino know how bad his Cuban accent is? Does he know how bad that is? It was funny.
I think I've tried to watch Scarface like twice, and I've never made it past the chainsaw scene.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Hmm.
Yep.
But it's a GTA Vice City reference, Randy.
I know.
Come on.
I
This
know.
is one of the best video games ever made.
Ew.
But yeah, Miss Boo, Becky over there. So, first time watching it, final thoughts?
It was good. I would recommend.
Nice.
Sweet and
Well,
short and to the
Hey,
point.
I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm probably gonna have to give it a second watch because there's a lot of stuff I probably missed on my
Mhm.
first go. But
Oh, and of course, you have to watch the superior 40th anniversary restoration.
yes, of course, of course.
Of course, yes.
I have to find the
Also, like-
documentary too.
sorry for interrupting
You're
you.
fine.
Also, like,
Wait, were we not supposed to interrupt people? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Dean.
Okay.
I know.
The
I
three
could.
of
Wait, what
us
about-
know how to do that. You're the one, wait, ooh, I gotta tell you. I'm like, no.
Teacher, call on me.
Please.
Oh, I know. I've been like probably interrupting a little
No,
bit.
No,
you're
no,
okay,
no.
You're
Okay.
okay.
Okay. I know in the line of the rooftop scene, like in both the film, the 40th anniversary restoration, and the movie that I watched, I don't know what version it is.
That's the theatrical,
Yes.
probably.
Yeah, and his line was like, leave or I'll destroy you too. And I think there's supposed to be another line that says like, leave or Swan will destroy you too.
That's
Hmm.
weird.
Yeah, but the I'll destroy you too is the North American version. I don't know where the Swan will destroy you too line is from.
It's,
Weird.
It's fucking Canadians, probably.
The Canadians have it.
Goddamn Canadians.
That's why the Canadians in Winnipeg got like the original version of it, and that's why they liked it so much.
Mm.
Of course.
They're like, we must protect it. Hurry, get the hockey players along the borders. We must save this.
Oh man.
But yeah, I like the Phantom of the Paradise. This is like my second or third time watching it,
Mhm.
and yeah, it is definitely like it is just a fun movie. It's a like beer and popcorn movie. It's so jokey, and it actually has like some pretty interesting like thematic stuff going on with it. It makes a bunch of references to old movies, so you feel smart if you watch old movies, and it's great. So I had a lot of fun with it.
What do you have up next, Dean?
Well, up next, we're going to be going 1 year forward in time and in history to talk about a different campy musical, one much, much, much more famous than Phantom of the Paradise. I'm sorry. And that's going to be...
The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, you're supposed to do the ooh, too.
Oh, ooh.
Thank you. God, fucking... Why do we even bring these people here? But yeah, we're going to be doing that next week. We're going to have a guest on.
Another first.
Another first guest who's also related to me. It's going to be my sister. It's going to be cool because I'm going to ask her point blank, why the fuck did you have me watch this when I was 5? I'm curious.
Because why not?
Why? Because she was watching it, and what was she gonna do? Like exclude you from the experience?
Dean, get the fuck out of the room.
I'm curious. This,
She was watching it in the living room, and she's like, "Well, what am I gonna do with him? Like lock him in the closet or something?" Like...
I'm just because this does not seem like a kid appropriate movie for just throwing it out there. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that next week, and where can they find us?
If you want to listen to us on a different platform than you currently are, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube.
Yeah, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Film Vault. That's The Film Vault on YouTube, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and watch the slideshow video versions of this podcast, because Dean's lazy. But if you want to know when we're releasing stuff, what we're doing, or what we're releasing, you can follow us on our social medias at...
The Film Club Podcast on Instagram, where we post, like Dean said, upcoming episodes, random adventures we go on, and other stuff. Yeah.
We post stuff.
We post stuff. You kind of listed the stuff that we posted.
But if you wanted to follow any of our guests or hear what Twitch stream they're going to plug this week, what would you guys like to plug anything?
Yes, would you like to plug?
Not particularly. Unfortunately, recently I've been watching VTubers, so send your prayers to me.
I see.
So I'm not very active on social media, but
Wow,
You
she
can-
sounds like she's better than us.
you can follow one of my good friends, Chrissy. Her TikTok is Le Phantom de l'Opera. She does a lot of Phantom tidbits, info, much more of a Phantom historian than I am. And then if you want to know more about Phantom of the Paradise or other Phantom content, you can join the Phantom's Lair Discord server. That's where I'm in.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
Is that the first Discord plug?
That is the
It
first
is.
Discord plug. Cielo, that was a first for you and a first for the podcast. But with that, we'll see you all next week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Never mess with the dead man's music.
Dum. Dum, 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 dum.
I'm surprised Dean
Bye.
doesn't do the Wendigoon bye.
No. Bye.